Hi everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Your Best Self. I'm Dr. Stephen Davidowitz, also known as Dr. D. Is it too late to say Happy New Year? Well, who cares? Happy 2022 to you all. We are all deserving and excited for a fresh start to a new year. Since our first show, a lot has happened. It's been really a pleasure to spend the holidays with my family. And I thank you all out there who watched our first show. We've gotten a tremendous response, so we hope to be here for the long haul, giving you the tips and tools to make today your best yet. So be sure to follow us and reach out on social media at Your Best Self TV. And let us know what matters to you, what you want to hear about, and where you can use a little TLC. So for the next 30 minutes, hang out, relax, and let us share some tips, inspire, and entertain you. Our first guest, Dr. Pamela Gallagher, has over 30 plus years of experience and is a board-certified plastic surgeon. Dr. Gallagher integrates surgical and non-surgical procedures to provide effective and desirable treatment plans with long-lasting, natural-looking results. She joins us now. Welcome, Dr. Gallagher.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here.
The topic is great since more and more people are asking and getting Botox. As a cosmetic dentist, I know what Botox could do around a smile. But our viewers want to know, can anyone get Botox? And who should they be getting Botox from?
Well, I feel like any adult can get Botox. And if there's a question from a medical history, they need to make sure that they clear it with their family doctor. But, for instance, we won't give it to somebody who's pregnant.
Gotcha.
Okay. And who should do it? Well, you're asking a plastic surgeon that, and I would say only a plastic surgeon, but that's not really true because I've trained PAs. I'm training a nurse practitioner right now. And if they have a good aesthetic sense and they know the right way to approach a patient, I think people who, and there are other physicians, dermatologists do a good job. I mean, dentists do a good job sometimes. I don't know how many, but a lot, sure. So you really need to know who you're going to, what their approach is, what they have been trained and how they've been trained. And then I think you'll feel comfortable.
So do your research before you sit in that chair and get good results. Mm-hmm. There are some terms out there with Botox that I'm hearing for the first time, and I think our viewers have seen it, but they don't really know what it is. What is baby Botox?
It's kind of a made-up term. I'd have to do some research to find out really where it came from, but it describes a bunch of techniques that allow you to either be doing something from a preventative point of view, or let's say treating it less than classically, which would be with trying to prevent motion that's causing lines entirely. Okay, some people aren't comfortable with that. They want a little more motion in their face. I personally, when I get my Botox, I want to have expression, but I don't want the lines. So I get a little more than baby Botox, but maybe a little bit less than classic amounts.
Right, so keep it natural. That's where we're going with that.
That's where we want to stay.
Gotcha.
So if a patient comes in and says to me, I want it frozen, okay.
And freeze them up.
Freeze them up. But, that's part of the patient-doctor back and forth. I need to know what you want. My first experience with baby Botox was in a young actress whose director said to her, your eyebrows move too much. She came, what do I do about my eyebrow? I said, oh, well, we've got something wonderful for you. And just a little bit of baby Botox was able to calm it down enough that that her director was happy.
That's a great example. What is Botox, and how does that work? Botox,
again, there's somebody out there manufacturing these terms, but they're a lot of fun anyway. It's referring to shaping the brow. Okay, so you have one of the evaluations that you have to make is somebody's eyebrows too low to start with? You have to be careful then where you're going to put the Botox. And sometimes what you can do is just raise the eyebrows, either the wings or the middle, 2 millimeters or so, just enough to open the eyes, make them look more bright. And so you're basically reshaping. And then you hope somebody didn't get bladed too low when they do their eyebrows. But that I can't fix.
What exactly is Nutox?
Nutox is referring to the latest released toxin, neurotoxin. That sounds like a scary word, but and that's Jeuveau, which is a lovely product. And a lot of my patients are really, really happy. I find that it's, in some ways, it gives you a little bit more ability to vary what you're doing because of a special property it has of not spreading out from where you do the shot. So you can really pinpoint it. But you can do that with other of the neurotoxins that are out there, but you have to use a different way to do it. But
So interesting. Dr. Gallagher, thank you so much for coming in. How could my viewers find you? How could they come in for a consultation?
well, you can visit our website at islandplasticsurgery.com and arrange for a complimentary consultation, or you can visit our social media at Island Plastic Surgery.
That's great. Thank you again. When we come back, we chat revamping your living space just in time for cozying up for the winter weather. Stay tuned.
My graduation was something I will never forget. People like you and me sometimes may have doubts in yourself, but I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
As a native New Yorker, I know how tight our wonderful city spaces can be. Our next guest, Victoria Lewis from The Source Furniture, is here to help us all spruce up a small space with 3 key pieces. Tell us more, Victoria.
Hi, Dr. D. Thank you so much for having me and us from The Source. We always love to help people spruce up their smaller spaces by definitely introducing, some pops of color. So using a smaller sofa or side chair, specifically the Margot sofa from Gus Modern. It's a small sofa, very comfortable, easy to move around and circulate around. And it's also FSC certified woods designed out of, and also it saves plastic bottles, about 1 million plastic bottles out of the ocean to fill it with as an alternative down. So we always love to be socially responsible, environmentally conscious. And this piece just really adds this beautiful pop of color. You can get it in 5 different colors. And you can find it at our showroom. The next item that would be a beautiful accent for any home, and especially in an urban environment, is going to be the onyx bowl and also our molten glass handcrafted vase. So all of these pieces are designed and created in Indonesia. We personally handcraft them and bring them to our clients in urban environments and city dwellings to bring in that sort of eclectic and natural feeling in your space. And this is great for smaller surfaces or a small coffee table, just to add extra little shine and earthy materials to your space. The next item that I would definitely add to your space is our solid wood tripod table. This piece is about 18 inches diameter, 23 inches high, all solid wood. And it has a beautiful tempered glass top that you can see all the construction details, handcrafting that we specialize in at From The Source with our solid wood materials. Our location to see any of these pieces is at 132 West 18th Street, right in Chelsea. So it's very easy to get to. And we also do design builds right on site and help you design your smaller pieces that you need for your New York, specifically your New York apartments. And we love our clients and invite anyone down to come see the pieces that I just highlighted.
I love it. Where can our viewers find more info online so that they could see these pieces as you discussed?
Absolutely. So our website is www.ftsny.com. There you can, like I said, design to order, build to order with all natural, handcrafted, and sustainably sourced materials.
Great stuff, Victoria. Thank you.
Thank you.
More after the break.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school.
It's been so amazing to be able to give our child the life that we kind of pictured us having, even though we didn't really have that.
I've been in foster care my whole life.
He's so strong to just be able to leave that all behind and still be able to take care of his daughter and be a good husband.
Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone.
We've been through so much in our life, and he never used that as an excuse, but as motivation to do better.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Awkward. Do I look familiar? I should. You might remember me from here. Here. Or maybe even here.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
It can actually be a perfect moment to reach out to a friend and ask if they're okay if they seem down.
It doesn't matter how you say it.
You all right?
Everything's okay?
All G?
You all right, girl?
Oh,
you cool?
You bugging dog.
Just show you're there for them.
Go on, Kelly. Seize the awkward.
Hey, you haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Dr. Thanuja Hamilton, MD, is a double board-certified sleep medicine specialist. She has been named South Jersey Magazine's top doc and was the featured physician on the cover of Philadelphia Magazine's Top Docs issue. She contributes her sleep expertise to several local and national media outlets, including The Dr. Oz Show, The Drew Barrymore Show, and now Your Best Self. Welcome, Doctor.
Hi, so happy to be here.
So, sleep, the ever elusive sleep. What's the biggest problem with sleep these days?
You know, I would have to say the biggest problem is something that we are creating and putting on ourselves. It's sleep deprivation. There's so much going on. There's binge watching, there's scrolling, there's working. And so we as a country are sleep deprived day after day after day.
When it comes to snoring, is snoring really that big of a deal?
Snoring, everybody snores a little bit. If you've had alcohol, you snore. If you're sick, if you're tired, but it can be a problem when that snoring leads to something else. What snoring is, it's the vibrations of a collapsed, crowded airway. When it collapses all the way, that's an apnea. Well, sleep apnea can lead to other host of problems, including poor quality of sleep, fatigue during the day, but also raising your blood pressure, increasing the risk of arrhythmias or heart rhythm issues, insulin resistance, a number of different things.
Doc, what can you do if you get the bedtime munchies? What are some do's and don'ts?
Yeah, with bedtime munchies, it's best if you can avoid eating right before bed. But if you're hungry, you certainly don't want to go to bed hungry. That can affect your sleep. So you want to watch what you eat. You want to avoid the greasy, fatty foods because those can cause acid reflux or indigestion and keep you up. You want to avoid the sugary foods. Those you get the sugar rush, plus you get the crash, which can make you lethargic the next day. Some people think eating healthy is a good thing, like vegetables, cauliflower, broccoli. But those are cruciferous vegetables that actually contain gas that can affect your sleep at night. So what I would suggest is you want to go for the things, for instance, nuts, a handful of nuts, pistachios actually have small amounts of melatonin that can help you sleep. There are some sleep-friendly things, sleep-friendly ice cream that has a little less sugar, lactose-free, a little fiber that won't affect your sleep, but it'll satisfy you. Edamame is a great bedtime snack because you have it in the shell, just like pistachios. If you're in the shell, you eat less of it, but it's a little something to fill you up without affecting your sleep. Also watch for hidden sources of caffeine. People, when you're at a restaurant, they ask you if you want a cup of coffee after dinner. Well, you want to avoid that. And chocolate also has caffeine that can affect your sleep. Alcohol, that nightcap, that's going to affect your sleep. Yes, it might help you fall asleep, but it can wake you up as it metabolizes. Plus, it's a diuretic, so you might wake up to use the bathroom, and it can collapse your airway more, which can cause snoring or apneas.
Wow, those are great tips. Are common sleep tools and gadgets really helpful?
They can be, some work for some work for others. For instance, there are weighted blankets out there. That was first studied on kids with ADD and autism. The weight actually was calming and soothing, and it releases serotonin. So that can be helpful for some. You want to start with about 10% of your body weight. There's also white noise machines. What they do is it's not necessarily blocking the sound, but it's blocking the changes in frequency, which can disrupt your sleep. Then there's the good old fashioned stuff, an eye mask. Sources of light. It can be from our phone, from our clock, from that little crack under our curtains. So an eye mask can be great because light is one of those things that controls our sleep. Melatonin puts us to sleep, but light wakes us up. If you've ever been in a hotel and you've got those great blackout curtains, you wake up, you don't even know what time it is. That's because we kept it dark. So that can be great. And your good old fashioned thermostat also is great. Keep the room cool when you're going to bed, because that goes along with our core body temperature. Our body temperature goes down when it's time to sleep. So bring the room temperature down.
Such important info. Thanks, doctor.
You're welcome. So happy to be here.
We'll be right back.
Kids!
I don't want to talk about it.
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 Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency.
Kids, you all right?
This family's prepared. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan. Go to nyc.gov/readyny or call 311 for more information.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back. After a long-standing career as a litigation and corporate attorney for Fortune 500 companies and luxury brands, our next guest has now redefined the traditional practice of law and brings her well-established experience and knowledge to better serve the needs of growing businesses. Shirin Movahed Rakocevic. She joins us now. Welcome, Shirin.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a few tips that a business can do to keep their legal ducks in a row.
To start off with, every business owner needs to ensure that they have the right legal entity. And that means whether it be a corporation or an LLC depends on the specific business needs and goals of that business. However, all of the businesses need to separate their personal assets from their business liability and creditors. In addition, you can also take advantage of major tax benefits and incentives by structuring it in the right way to support the growth of your business.
Can you speak a little bit about contracts?
Well, contracts are incredibly important to the success of a business, and every business owner needs to ensure that every contract that it signs specifically includes all the legal terms and conditions as well as obligations of the parties in order to make sure that they are properly protected and avoid making costly mistakes that will lead to litigation.
Where can our audience find you and get more help?
Well, if you're ready to take your business to the next level, then you can contact me at rockamovalaw.com or on Instagram at brandlawmama. And if you're one of those do-it-yourself entrepreneurs and want to learn more about how to build a successful business, then you can go to businessbrandblueprint.com and register now for a complete online course on building your brand.
Wow, thanks, Shirin.
Thank you for having me.
When we come back, we talk about one of my and probably your favorite topics. What should I watch next?
Kids!
I don't want to talk about it.
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 Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency.
Kids, you all right?
This family's prepared. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan. Go to nyc.gov/readyny or call 311 for more information.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
You are loved. You are valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back. Our next guest is so much fun. Josh McBride is a nationally recognized television host and producer, contributing content to some of the most watched television programs currently on TV, including The Today Show, The Talk, Wendy Williams Show, BuzzFeed, Cheddar, Celebrity Page TV, The Daily Buzz. Oh boy, the list goes on. He joins us now to chat about the most binge-worthy TV we have to look forward to this winter. Hey, Josh.
Dr. D, good to see you. Yeah, that was a long list. You didn't have to read all that. Don't worry. It's mostly lies.
So, Josh, let's start with the huge hit show Squid Games. Funny enough, a patient of mine asked to have Squid Games before I even knew about it up on the screen during a procedure. And that was a few weeks back. Since then, my wife and I have devoured the season. Why do you think this show is such a phenomenon?
Dr. D, I think it's because we haven't really seen anything like it in a relative sense. I mean, there's been shows that have been sort of similar, but nothing that has been like this and really drove home this idea of like a child game to start off this first episode. So this has really become one of the most talked about Netflix mini series, really. Now with over 111 million viewers, the top show in over 94 countries. This show takes you on a journey. The premise, Dr. D, you know it, hundreds of cash-strapped players accept a strange invitation to compete in children's games inside. Attempting prize awaits with deadly high stakes. We know that if you've watched it, gets a little crazy. A survival game that gives a whopping $45.6 billion prize at the end. This show is so talked about. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think this was the most worn costume at Halloween this past year. I actually was that for Halloween too, so I think that's why I'm saying it. You can catch Squid Game, of course, on Netflix. You'll be you'll definitely be in for a treat and a ride for sure.
Now, the show Made has been watched by over 37 million households, and it's on track to be one of the most watched limited series on Netflix. What is it about this show that's so appealing?
Dr. D, I think it tells a really interesting story, and I think it tells a story that a lot of Americans and people in this world have faced of trying times, of hardship, of abuse. This is another limited series starring Margaret Qualley and her mother, Andie MacDowell, who actually plays her mother in the show. Stars Nick Robinson. I don't know if you remember him from A Teacher or Love, Simon. Tells really the story of Alex, who is fleeing an abusive relationship while being a young mother and trying to make ends meet by cleaning houses, attempting to build a better future for her and her daughter. This show takes you on sort of this emotional roller coaster, watching relationships be made, but then stripped away. Made, M-A-I-D. This series can be also caught on Netflix.
Now, season 2 of The Morning Show on Apple TV is back. Your thoughts, Josh? Hit or miss this season?
Absolutely hit. If you watch season 1 of The Morning Show, you know that it left off at a cliffhanger with that last episode kind of wowing everyone. You still have time to catch up, I'd say, with season 1 if you're thinking about jumping into season 2, because there's only a few episodes out at this point. Of course, you know the hit series stars Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston, and Steve Carell became a watch show for so many who wanted to really explore the depths of morning television and recognize the hashtag #MeToo movement. I think now, without giving too much away, viewers can expect an exciting season with other familiar faces that you've known. Julianne Margulies is actually in this season, plays a prominent role this season, actually. This show was definitely one of those shows that was significantly delayed due to the pandemic. It was actually set to debut the second season last November. They had to push everything, of course, because of COVID. You can catch The Morning Show on Apple TV+. Good season, Dr. D. I'm saying go for it. Do it.
Right.
Yep.
Josh, before I let you go, tell me one more show that I should look out for and watch.
Yeah, this one you can binge all at one time because it's all out. 9 Perfect Strangers on Hulu. You've probably heard about it. The premise is 9 strangers from the city gather for this 10-day retreat at Tranquillum, a health and wellness resort, which promises to transform and heal the guests that really come there and stay there. The resort's definitely not what you'd think it may be, and the guests discover more sort of secrets about each other and the host and the resort host, Masha. Now, this show stars Nicole Kidman, Melissa McCarthy, Regina Hall, and so many other talented actors. This is a really good watch, a really interesting, dramatic, fun, pulls you in series. It's an 8-episode series, so you can binge it really quick, and you can also catch that on Hulu.
Amazing. Josh, thanks so much. And I know everyone is excited to cozy up and hibernate inside this winter. So these are great suggestions for us to do just that.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that is it for us today on Your Best Self. I hope you enjoyed the info, had some fun, and join us next time. Until then, be well and see you soon.
Promotional consideration is paid for by Your Best Self TV.